Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Welcome to the best of the 757 talk show. Hope everybody can hear me good, hear me well, because we got some talk to do. That's right, the best of the 757 community talk show. Welcome to the show. I want you to go ahead and start hitting that share button, inviting some people over to the show, the broadcast, because it's all about positiveness over here, bringing in like-minded people, because the world is in need of people that can join together in conversation so that we can get the information to our next generation, our future generation. Welcome to the show. Like I said, go ahead and hit your share button and invite some people over, so, we know we want to be able to engage with everybody when it comes to talking about the community. It is not my platform. It's called the Best of the 757 Community Talk Show for one simple reason. We want you to engage. We want you to be a part of the conversation. We want you to make comments and find out how you feel about the way the 757 is going. The 7 cities, how they're doing things are they doing things to help better things, or things seem to be getting worse? I don't know. I'm just an observer. I am the one that sit back and watch. I don't do too much talking. Like I tell people, I don't do politics. I'm just a person, the average person, and I keep this conversation the same way, average, so that we can talk in common sense and not always being smart and educated sense, because humanity is at stake. We're dealing with a situation where our future generation is at stake. So I want you to come on in the room today and talk and express your opinion about what's going on. That's what I want. I want everybody that knows somebody to share and invite them to the house, as I call it. This is the house. This is the house where you can let people know what's going on, and invite people from other cities, because this is not one state, one city problem. This is everybody's city, everybody's problem. It's not just the teachers' problem. We want to blame the teachers for stuff that parents are not doing. We want to blame parents for stuff that's going on that their kids are doing. Everybody wants to point the finger somewhere else. It's already told us who's in charge. When we don't come together to stop this gun violence, when we keep doing the same thing and keep getting the same results, you should say there's something wrong with that picture. I'm born in Portsmouth, Virginia. I live in Virginia Beach. I've worked in Norfolk. I've worked all over the place. I've worked all over the place. And what do I mean by that? That means that people have supported me as a DJ, as a professional DJ, or an entertainer, or whatever you want to call it. These are the cities, all 7 cities, North Carolina, New York, places that I have been to play where a lot of people never get a chance to play. But the point I'm trying to make is that if we work together, we're like, as the old school say, we're like the crabs in the barrel. Every time one try to get up, another one pulls them down. And that's why mostly I work by myself. Why? Because it's not about me. If I stay focused on the task that I've been given before I was even born, I'm doing what God has allowed me to come into this world and do. I'm not running around here trying to kill somebody, mistreat people. But what I'm trying to do is to get people to understand when we stand together, the world wants to divide us. They want us to be divided. I don't have to point fingers at this person or that person. Why? Because I work and go out and do my work the way I supposed to, by myself. People don't even really, you say you read the Bible, but then it seems like you don't understand it. When Jesus came into this world, he came alone. When Jesus left this world, he didn't leave alone. There was two thieves hanging on the cross. And they said, they asked him, for forgiveness. And he said, from this day forward, you shall be with me when I enter paradise. You shall be with me. But today, everybody's got paradise here on earth. It ain't carrying nobody. And only time and people are taking their people with them because of the things they have done that's not honorable to man or to God. You see everybody that's been on trial. You seen people been on trial, but yet didn't get convicted of the things they was accused of. But that's a topic for another day. I'm just trying to explain to you what I do and why I do it, because it's not about me. It's about the future generation. It's about the young people, because they are the future. As we get older, you don't get gray hairs for being young. You get them as you grow older. We have to be understanding that our youth is our future. As we get older, I've asked this question, or I say this topic when people are asking, these are educators. If you could talk to somebody that was dead, who would you want to speak to? My spirit spoke to me and said, why would you want to speak to somebody dead? When you walk around on this planet and you see the things that's going on and say nothing, you are dead. You don't have to go to the cemetery and talk to the dead. The dead ain't there. All the things that Jesus showed you and talked about when he was living. That's what you call indoctrination. They want you to go to the cemetery and talk to the dead. What did he tell Mary when she came and she saw the tomb empty? She was weeping and crying and said, they had stole my master's body. He said, why are you here? For he is risen. He is no longer in the tomb. But we get it twisted because indoctrination is something easy to do. As you see, when we talk about Jesus, they call him the Son of Man. When Jesus spoke and said, your master has risen, he's not saying S-O-N, the Son. He is saying S-U-N, the Son, because he is the light. He is the light of the world. Why do you think we sing gospel songs? Jesus is the light. He is the light of the world. He's forever burning in my heart. We got away from traditional gospel. We got away from knowing who the master is. That's why other religions saying grand rising, because the sun rises every day and it sets every night. He goes away. We have to ask and pray to God, the Heavenly Father, for wisdom and knowledge. It's in your book. You ever notice the topics that most preachers talk about? It sometimes keeps you confused, keep you believing that he has all the answers. Maybe at one point, our churches had the answers. We didn't have all the gun violence when I was growing up. And I'm over 70. We did not have the gun violence as we have today when I was a teenager or when I was in my 20s, a young man, as they used to say. How you doing, young man? That's how adults used to speak to men, young men, teenagers, still a teenager. Young man. We got all kind of names for our kids today. We got all kind of names for our children. But what are our children learning from the way they see us communicate, the way we see each other communicate? I'm not here to badger people. I'm just giving you information so you can think of what to do, what's to come. Look around. Everything that's going on is in the Bible. The Bible is not religion, but they want you to make it your religion because they done manipulated some of the things. If you read through your Bible, you will find verses in other chapters. The same is in one chapter. Everything that's going on in the world today is in that book. Man wrote the book, but it was inspired by God. So man has a tendency to tamper with history, his story. They're tampering with God's story. That's why it's called history, his story. Our story is being written as we wake up every day. Our story is written every day since we been alive. Because if it wasn't, why are we still angry with each other? We are angry, and our generation today is killing people that look like them. Why are we doing that? Notice words we play on. See, English words play on words. The Constitution says the First Amendment is freedom of speech, or the first Constitution say the Constitution, because I don't try to keep up with that. I just try to let you know where it is, that we have the right to bear arms. But did it say we have a right to kill anybody? It doesn't. You'll learn if you ever take a test to get a concealed weapon, they will tell you when you take the test. This license or permit doesn't give you the right to shoot and kill anybody. It doesn't give you the right. It gives you the right to bear arms. But do they tell you that? Do they tell you that? I went to a meeting. We had a meeting one time with the organization over at the college, which is now a university. And we went over there to speak to the students. Wesleyan University now. It was just a college at one point. And when doing that, everybody was talking about guns. I want to get a concealed permit to carry a gun. So I asked the question to the students or the young lady who used to be in the military. So I used to be in the military. So I want to get the a permit. I said, let me ask you something. If the police pull you over and stop you, and if you got a gun in your car, he asks you, do you have a gun? Are you going to sit there and argue with him talking about, I know my rights? Or if your gun is not registered and you got a loaded gun anywhere in your car, you don't even have to be seen. It could be under the seat. He can look under your car. If you don't tell him you don't have the right to search my car, I don't give you permission. You can ask, all these things. I'm not arguing with the police, so I don't carry a gun. My mouth is my weapon. I don't have to be angry. I don't have to disrespect him. See, you're not disrespecting the reason why police officers have the power they have, because you're not disrespecting the man. You're disrespecting the uniform. That's what you have to tell your children. That's what you have to tell your teenagers. You are disrespecting that uniform that man is in. Now, if he just walked up to you without that uniform on, then you'll be disrespecting him. So it's the same thing when your kids go to school, go to class, and the teacher tells them things. They dishonoring the teachers because the teacher's there to teach and give them the knowledge so that in return, they can move on to a higher level of education. But we have our kids believing that, hey, you can talk to teachers any kind of way you want to. You ain't got to listen to them. The cities had a meeting with the school board. We had him on this. Went to the meeting with the NAACP over there at poolside cooking with the superintendent of Virginia Beach. And our co-host, Miss Georgia Allen, was there as a citizen, a former NAACP president of Virginia Beach. She's still advocating now for policy changes and different things at city council and speaking at the school board. This is the superintendent of Virginia Beach. The people that was in the audience wanted to know why the kids can't have their phones. They had to make a policy, make a decision on whether or not the kids could have their phones in school. No. Could they have their school phones in the classroom? See, we got away from why we go to school. We go to school to get educated, not to be making selfies and videoing activities, interrupting the teachers while they are trying to educate our future generation. This is what it's all about, getting our young people to understand. They're going there to learn things that they don't know about. Teach us to be business owners so we can change things. How can the teacher teach you anything when you ain't listening? When you are not paying attention to the words that cometh out of her mouth or his mouth. Oh, we don't want to look like that. That's church clothes. That's church clothes. Well, I want to be in church. Why? Because at least I got a focus point. If I look like this, if your child look like this, he has a focus point that, hey, I'm going to be somebody someday. Who do you see wearing suits? Business people. Who do you see dressing appropriately? Even if they didn't put on the jacket. But a shirt and tie speaks volume. People want to tease you. They're going to tease you regardless of what you got on. We're losing a generation to death. We're losing a generation to the pipeline to prison. Because you don't see this one in prison. Only person that's wearing that uniform in prison is the superintendent or the acting caretaker of all the people in prison and the people that work for the prison. So we don't want our kids to get it confused. You're supposed to walk around and look like a street person because that's where your mentality is when you dress sometime. When you dress sometime. I done my research. My research was done because I ran nightclubs. I do research, real research. I'm in the streets talking to people. I'm in the streets talking to kids. I listen to them. Kids are afraid. They don't trust us as adults. And we get it twisted and think, hey, it's all right. They can do that. We don't want to be called mom or dad. We want a street's name. Yo, Pop. Pop, that's something you drink. You got to know what you're saying. Everybody has titles. They have titles for a reason. Adam wasn't called Pop. He was called Adam. Eve wasn't called Yo Mom. She had a title. We all have titles. We're the only race on the planet that got more titles. We got so many titles in the black race. We don't know what to call each other. I was talking to a salesperson one time. I said, look, son, what? We almost got in a fight. He said, I ain't your son. You ain't my dad. See, when you say that word son, they don't know what you're saying. They get angry. If you don't believe me, try it. Talk to a young person and say, look, son, and see how they react. I'm not your son. The word son is the highest praise a person can get. The highest praise that a black man can get. I don't care what age you is. Look, son. Especially in New York. Whoa, they'll rip your head off in New York. They'll whip you in New York if you call them, say, hey, son, I ain't your son. Look, son. Look, son. We got our children confused with the words. The only word they ain't confused about because they don't hear it. Love. We don't use the word properly. Love. We let our kids do things, get in trouble, and then we want to react. We want to go to the school. We go to the school and want to whip the teacher. We're going to tear up the school. Then we got our kids taking guns to school, shooting teachers, shooting whoever they want. Why? Because we took the word love and put it in the wrong sentence. We put it in the wrong phrase. Love is a feeling. When you learn to know what love is, it becomes a reaction. As their songs say, we've been looking for love in all the wrong places. Our kids is a gift from God. You can't make a baby by yourself, nor can a man give you a baby unless he find one on the side of the road. God made everything on the planet in the order for which it was made for. But you keep forgetting things have been tampered with. Things have been tampered with. See, the black race in the United States is a commodity. And you thinking they respect you as a human. No, we're a commodity. That's why we're traded on the stock market. Look it up. All you got to do, look at your Social Security card. You've been hoodwinked. You've been run amok. You've been bamboozled. Because that's what Malcolm X died for. The great Malcolm X gave his life to educate us. When he used to speak the phrase, we didn't come here on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us. I'll let that resonate for a moment. Resonate for a moment. They have already tell you that every black person came over on a slave ship, but they ain't produced no slave ship. You see the ships in Jamestown that Spain gave to Christopher Columbus because England wouldn't give him the ships. She said, if you get the ships, I will give you, and I'm not giving you my soldiers to go look for the new world. If you get the ships, I will give you permission to go to the prison and ask any of the prisons they want to sail on those 3 ships. Folks, you don't understand your history. This country, they call it United States, was founded by criminals who in return became the good people that you see today. And all of our people did not come from Africa. This is Africa. They don't educate you in the way for you to know it. That's why the United States is what they call a sovereign country. We're not delegated or supported in the United Nations. Aren't we a nation? If that was the case, why ain't we getting restoration? How they gonna give you restoration if you never left your land? Only people get restoration is people in other countries. And you're trying to figure out, well, why they ain't giving us no restoration? As soon as they start buying and say they're gonna give restoration, millions of dollars to blacks here for slavery work that our ancestors done, what did they do? They got rid of Joe Biden and the governor of California when he said he was going to be the first one to start giving money to the human black race for restoration. You see what the trouble that got him into years later. Where's the money at? Where's the bag? We ain't asking them questions. They still got you stuck on Joe Biden. Joe Biden did a great job. All the Democrats was doing a great job, but they tricked you. They made you run amok. They hoodwink you and try to tell you the Democrats ain't doing nothing. But that's the enemy way. Our future generation needs our attention. They need to know that we love them and we care. That is one of the topics for today. And this is my page that I need for you to join. It's the one that you see the narrative right under Henderson, that blue Astro. That's my official page. And please join that page. Join Henderson Bond, the one with my hat on, the Dream Maker hat, the one that says note. join that page. I really need for you to join that page. If we want to change our community, our future generation, if you go there, you will see videos that I put up, history that I recorded 20 and 30, 40 years ago. And you might say, the only thing I see is dancing. Look a little bit closer. If you ever came to Picasso's, Heartbreak Cafe, Club Royal Blue, which at that time I was only taking pictures, the main event, I was only taking pictures. You would see how we were when we went out to nightclubs. The number of nightclubs have been that was open during the 70s up until what, 2000, 2005, I think, is no longer there. Black people have clubs. They're not called clubs now. They're called restaurants, which they were in the first place. There never has been a club in the state of Virginia. You need to know the history. They always been with alcohol. You could use a portion of your restaurant, a percentage of your floor for dancing, as long as you serve food. That's why you have to buy food when you go in the clubs. You have to buy food because it's a restaurant. But unless you go into business and learn all the ins and outs to operate. Now, when you go in a place, you have some that's grandfathered in, like the Broadway, grandfathered in. That's why they have that dance floor. Upscales, grandfathered in because of the size of the dance. And of course, the alley over in Newport News. You have some that has already been grandfathered in. If not, when they open, they have a little small place for you to dance or a staging area, or you dance by your table. That's why everybody's doing line dancing. We are human creatures, human beings that we need to touch. We don't touch no more. How many places that you go today? How many clubs that the DJs slow the music down? How many DJs slow the music down to dance with your wife, your girlfriend? How many DJs do that? We lose the human touch. We don't touch anymore, but we'll pick up a gun and blow your brains out. And we ain't never but looked at you. We just said, leave me alone. Please, sir. Please, ma'am. And that upset you. All the things that our kids are doing today, we didn't do. Now, if a person disrespected a man, let's go outside, bud. Let's go outside and handle it like men. They ain't ride around through the neighborhood shooting and killing each other, getting angry and fighting in public. You would go to jail. We got more people in prison than we got in the community. This state, at one point, used to have over 800 and some prisons in the state of Virginia. Virginia, Texas used to have the largest prison system in the United States. Aren't our children in court every single day? And our black men in court every single day when they should be home raising their children? Tomorrow is Father's Day. What about Father's Day? Sunday is Father's Day. How will you celebrate your father? How will we show our young people that their father brought them, helped bring them into the world? You may not be together. You may not be seeing one another. You might be separated or divorced, or he might be in the pipeline to prison. If somebody would have spoke to him, if someone would have asked him, what are you going to do for your children? Do the prison let the fathers call their kids on Father's Day? Do the mothers allow their children to call their fathers on Father's Day who might be incarcerated? Did you send him a card to let him know that he's not forgotten? Or we still in the pipeline of not letting the child know who his father is? You've heard Kirk Franklin say he didn't meet his father till he was a grown man. But I know this is a topic that most ladies don't want to speak about. Don't want to speak about. Because that's a free ride. That's how we keep our men in prison. Most men are not committing crimes to go to jail. They're committing a crime when they don't pay that child support when they go to court. The judge tell you, if you hit a woman, if you disrespect a woman, he'll tell you that woman don't belong to you. That's my woman. That's my woman. And most people don't even study the history of slavery. You don't own your rights to each other unless the judge give you permission. And if you disrespect that woman, she knows she got power over you to put you away. But most women, not all, don't even want to hear that. That's why they get a check first of the month. That's why a woman cannot have a man in her house, because they want to divide and conquer. The system is against you. But if you don't understand the system, then you won't understand most Black men don't have a happy Father's Day because they're in jail. They're incarcerated. See, when you go to prison, it's different from going down to the city jail. The city jail can only detain you for a number of months. But when you go to the pipeline to prison, you go in 10, 20, 30 years. I've had people on my show, the Best of the 757 Community Talk Show, that was in jail, that President Obama pardoned. They was on my show. That was in Virginia. He pardoned, like, that was on my show. At least 4 people were on my show. They had a sentence for over 50 years, but I already had been in there 30, and he pardoned them. We get the crimes that'll put you in jail for a number of years. That's why we have to talk to our young men that are fathers or thinking about being a father. Know what it means to be a dad. Know what it means to say Happy Father's Day. To all the young men out there that are not fathers yet, to all the young men that know who their father is, don't forget to get a card tonight. Don't forget to go to the store and get your father a card, a symbol of love. I got 2 things that I know about Father's Day. I know my dad. That was my dad and my mother. Don't it look like that old farmers pictures of the white people with the farmer? Like, we always stand next to the mother. We always stand next to the mother. And you know what the old saying is? You never let the right hand know what your left hand is doing. This is the way most men take pictures, because your mother is your right hand. The person that's on the right side of you is your right hand. But my mom and dad was teenagers when they met. My dad was born 1917. My mother was born 1915. And I love my mom and dad more than I love life itself. I try to honor them by the work I do in the community, because they are the one that taught me the things that I know. My mother was a member of Fourth Baptist Church, the home church that I still go to today. May the work I done speak for me. I went to church with my mother every chance I got. I've studied in many churches, many religions other than the Quran. My brother in New York, they studied the Quran, but they also know the Bible because of when they were born. I can't tell you how much I miss my mom and dad. I try to honor them by trying to be a good man. Somewhere along the way, I stumbled and fell because of my activity sexually. I had more than children with different women. But I took care of my children because that's what my dad did when he took care of us, his 7 kids. I had role models. I worked 3 and 4 jobs, not always getting the pay I deserve, but what they would give us. As a teenager, I didn't have any children. It was when I was about 24 or 25, and I had my first child. And then I had another child. Most of them, all 3 of my children, all 3 of my 4 mothers of my children was out of wedlock. I wasn't married. In my heart, I was married because I took care of the mother and my child or my children. Later on, I got married to my wife. Then when we separated, I got married to my second wife, who I'm married to today. And 2 ladies I didn't marry, but I would have if they have asked them and they didn't want to get married, because it was my responsibility to take care of. I created a family, and I'm responsible for my children, because every man is responsible for the child that is born. No woman can have a child without a man. So why is that the courts give women power over the man when she didn't bring the child in the world by herself? Where do you see a woman? You seen a woman that bring a child in, a human in this world without a man? Name one. Go get your girlfriend. You'll be rich. You'll be a billionaire. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. But you are responsible if you're having sexual relationships and the woman is found pregnant by you. You are responsible to take care of that child. And again, it goes back to the court. It goes back to the court. If the woman said that you are the father of that child, it's your baby. That's why when you go to court, you make sure you get a paternity test. Because my daughter's mother, her mother took me to court for child support. And I've been taking care of all my children from the time they were born and before they were born, because they had to have certain medical care. And I gave them money so they could go to the doctor. Being responsible. I didn't question them. They say, well, I'm pregnant. Okay. I didn't say, let's go get an abortion. We're going to take care of the child. I'm going to take care of the child. That's what an honorable man does. See, sex, we look at it in a different way today. We tell our children it's okay to have sex. See, sex without responsibility is now a social environment where you can have sex with people, casual sex, as they call it. And there's nothing wrong with having sex if you're responsible. Sex is reproduction. But we have our kids thinking it's love. The word love is not sex. Love is a feeling. This word here is what you feel on the inside. Love is what we feel about one another. Even if I never have sex with a woman, I loved her because she's a woman. I loved her because we're supposed to love one another. I love a man. I ain't having sex with no man. So why do I use the word love in the same sentence with a woman? You are human. We're supposed to love one another. But the enemy tricks us with the words. With the words. Our young people are using this word to have sex. And then when they go down the road talking to different women and having sex, we made love last night. No, we had sex last night. Because if you love someone, you don't want to have sex with other people because it's love. Sex is for reproducing. We create babies. A man have over 1 million sperms to reach a woman where I don't want to miscorrect 1 or 2 eggs. And he has 1 million sperms to create a human being. The word love has nothing to do with it. So why are we taking advantage of losing our future generation? And this word right here will change the way they see things when you use the word love in the proper manner. I love every lady I meet, but I ain't going to bed with them because they deserve to be loved. That's what God said, not me. He didn't say go have sex. That ain't what he said. We get it twisted. We get it twisted. Because when a child is in this world and he's not being loved by both parents, because a woman didn't bring a child in the world by herself. She had help of a man. and they both have to be responsible. Doesn't mean you have to stay together. It means that you have to stay together and make sure that child is raised the right way. When that child go to school and the teachers are trying to educate them on things, and they talking back to the teacher, setting them up for the pipeline to prison. The teacher is the most hardest job in the world today. But our young men deserve the best education they can get. Don't you see what's going on? They're taking our history out of school books, out of universities, out of the library. What part you don't understand? Our love for our future is being erased. We celebrating June 16th. But what's going to happen next year? Are we still going to be celebrating June 16th? Or is it up to the states to continue the celebration when history is being erased right before your eyes? Right before your eyes. I'm not a rocket scientist. I don't claim to be well educated. That's what the system tells me. But I don't get into ego. I don't have an ego. I'm born at a time and place that keep the awareness that's going on in our community. This logo here again is WVDM. WVDM for the radio station. I appreciate it if you would download it. It's in the Apple Store. Soon it'll be reloaded to Google. Or when I send a link, if you join my Facebook page, I don't have to continue to send you the Live 365 link. I can put it on my page and you can go there and join those pages and you can listen to the radio station on those pages. I don't have to send a link, keep sending you a link every day. And if you have a link already that I have messaged you with, you can go and click on that link, and that link can and still be used each and every day. I don't have to send you a link. Continue to send you a link. If you text me in Messenger and say, I have the link, that means I have to no longer send you a link when I go live. The live is to let you know that I'm broadcasting live, but you can go to the link. That link continues to operate. And I appreciate the listeners and the viewers of the program. Only link I have to send you is the one we are on now, StreamYard, because that's when I go live on that link. I also want to, let you know that when we do things, we also have to be conscious of all the things that go on in our world, everything that goes on in our world, and the things that we have to get along, because, like I said, it's about Father's Day. And I hope that the young people will decide to do something to support their father. And at this time, one of my sponsors is the young lady name that's running across the screen. If you're an organization trying to start a 501c3 nonprofit, and to get your status with the IRS. The number that's running across the screen is to a young lady that's been doing it for over 20 some years, helping organizations to get their nonprofit status from their internal revenue. You need that to raise money and to become a nonprofit organization. Her telephone number is on the screen, but I will mention it, 757-977-7634. Her name is Phyllis. If you call her, she will give you more information about her services and her fees. If you mention that you saw it here on WVDM, she will also give you a discount. So let her know that you did see it here on the Best of the 757 Community Talk Show. And that's what I try to get people to be aware of when we are doing things, because it's important for us to be in the right place at the right time. And that's what's important to me. And that's what I need for y'all to recognize about the things and work I try to do. Like I said before, it's a lot of things I work on, a lot of things. This is one of the organizations I have awards from. It's called the Hampton Roads Black Radio Announcers Association. It's dedicated to the Hampton Roads, the 757, VA, 2 up and 2 down, and the 804. DJs that started over 50 years ago doing radio. And you can support this page by joining it and following it. You know, we honor the DJs or the jocks on this page right here. We do activities to do fundraisers and put on events maybe once or twice a year where y'all can come out and meet and greet the DJs of Hampton Roads, which was brought to you by Dr. Phil Nelson and Dr. Glenda Parrish. We must learn to honor them as well. I know I've been talking and I haven't put their picture up to be seen, but I will rectify that information as well. But as we continue to try to grow, try to move forward, you be on the lookout for more information that's coming. Last year, we was in the Fishbowl Parade for Norfolk State. We will be returning again this year. We will be returning again this year. Be on the lookout for that as well. Some things I don't cover, but I will start doing. But nevertheless, once again, and since Father Day is tomorrow, my daughter that's no longer here, Shant, was born on Father's Day when she was born. But you see, Father Day comes different times of the year. It comes different times of the year. It's another thing that they can say, hey, you just had to guess. But I want to say happy birthday to my loving daughter, Shonda. You're white. I miss you, and I won't let your legacy die. She was a wonderful mother. But until the next time we meet, this is Captain 85 for the best of the 757. So long.